Power on. Task name, word processor. Why I don't use IRA.insert mode right. Static top of document title.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Aaron Linson, back with another episode of the LP Podcast Network. And we're going to look at something that's really, really neat. Now, this is going to be a series of tutorials.
File Manager F.
And a look through of the BrailleSense U2. I finally had the cable that I needed to get this to work. So I'm really excited to bring these podcasts to you. So we are going to be looking at the BrailleSense U2, which is a generation below the BrailleSense Polaris. So why not the BrailleSense Polaris? Well, I have a couple of issues with note takers running Android, and that has to do with security and the version of Android that they're running. If you know anything about technology, and if you're listening to this podcast, I hope you do, but if you don't, we will educate you, and we are totally fine of doing that. When you run especially Android, when you run an older version of an Android operating system, manufacturers can just send what would seem to you, the end user of a device, as an upgrade or a security patch that says, we fixed these issues. Your device is now secure. And it has become known to people that follow technology that they can just do this and it doesn't matter what it is. They don't even have to put anything in there. It's more of a security blanket. And a lot of manufacturers, specifically ones from LG, HTC, and Samsung, have done it. And not only for that reason do I believe that Humanware, and particularly anybody that runs a Android note taker, needs to make sure that they get these updates. But I'm not so sure that they would look at this feature and do the same thing. Not saying that they are, not saying that they aren't, but I just have a few issues with running Android on a dedicated note-taking device. Another one of the reasons is Braille support, because when you go out of the dedicated applications, where is your speech that is being used for the specialized applications, and then where's the Braille support? Because once you fall out of the dedicated rewritten applications, your Braille may or may not go away. That is something that I do not want when I'm using a machine that is dedicated towards note-taking. Now, as you heard, this BrailleSense U2 just said a little phrase why I don't use IRA. This blog post will be written, so look for that very, very soon. This podcast should go up even before that blog post is out. So look for that and follow us on linceproductions.com. Just go down to the blog and it'll be there. Also, go ahead and put in the RSS feed link that we have provided for you in the LP Podcast Network page of the website, and you will be able to use any of your podcast players, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, even Google Play Music, or even Google Podcasts. I'm sorry, they have changed that to play the LP Podcast. We would love for you to do that, and also subscribe to the blog as well. So, what does this thing have? Well, it has a whole bunch of new features that are new to me, because I've been a Humanware aficionado and a Humanware proponent of products for the longest time. I had the original Pulse Data Braille Note, and man, let me tell you, that thing was awesome. And then we got the Empowers, And then we got the PKs, the small little mini units. And then we also got, let's see, we got a Braille Sense, their first original one that came in through the School for the Blind where I live. And that was really cool. It was something really different. And I really liked that proponent of it. I really liked what it could do. But then I really liked a lot of Humanware stuff. So I did have a Braille Note Apex for a while. My wife and I both did. And we sold them off to a friend of ours who they both needed them. And so we let them have them. And I've been mainly not having a Braille note-taking device for a while. I needed it for the work that I do with Linux Productions and a couple other things. For recording and all that. It's been very helpful with that. But I've also been wanting to read Braille again. And I haven't had reason to do so with using books. Reading books in Braille. I've just been doing it on the iOS device, and it was high time for me to get a Braille device. And so it's here, and I'm just going to stop rambling on, and I'm going to tell you a lot of the cool features that I like about it. Internet is very awesome because it has two versions, a quick browser, which is sort of, you can think of a mobile browser like Safari on iOS or Google Chrome on Android. Then has a full browser called web browser. This is very easy to get a hold of and to do, unlike the Braille Note version, which I could never get my head around, so I just forgot it and didn't even use it. The Braille keys are more ergonomic. They're smaller, they fit my hand better, and they are more silent than the Braille Note Apex. So I'm going to
all keys locked.
Switch that into all keys locked, and I'm going to just type here to show you how silent these are, unlike the Braille Note Apex. And with the inclusion of that, have not looked at a Braille Note Touch, but I'm pretty sure since they have the same keyboard layout and they're using the same keyboard layout, that it'd be the same. It'd be the same thing when you have the type cover over the glass display. So, but other than that, I'm going to show you what this sounds like. So I'm just going to type a little bit here, just nonsense. So it's really, really silent, more silent again than the Braille Note Apex. And one of the features that you heard was that I can lock this keyboard, so I can touch any of these keys, and nothing moves. I can even move our media switch that's on the bottom here, and it doesn't do anything. This is really great for when I just want to lock the display, leave, and come back. I can unlock it, but then I can also put it in the middle.
Top panel locked.
And the top panel is locked. So if there's some media that I'm listening to on the Braille Sense that I want to continue to play, I can with the media buttons here.
95.7 megahertz.
And so, alright.
Frequency. Task name. Word processor.
Alright.
File manager F.
So, it was put into FM radio.
Codification by the World Wide Web. File manager F. Codification by the World Wide Web.
Okay. So, what does that mean?
Overwrite mode. Insert mode. Overwrite mode. Insert mode.
I don't even know where.
File manager F.
That might be the Daisy.
Task name. Daisy player. Codification by the World Wide Web.
It
File
was.
manager F.
So, it does have an FM radio, which does work.
Radio mode.
And that's what it was on, radio mode. So I can.
Codification by the World Wide Web.
Alright, I'm going to get out of
Exit
that.
Daisy player.
Yes.
Are you sure? Yes. Prop task name. Word processor.
I'm going to get out of this too.
Word processor. W. File
So,
manager F.
we do have
Radio mode.
radio with the slider switch that's on the very left side of the microphone and headphone jack is first, then the switch for the media keys, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to switch this to the middle.
Daisy mode.
It's the daisy mode.
Media mode.
And then we have media mode. So if I go and hit play here, it'll bring
There
up
are no items to display. Static box.
the media player. And there's no items to display because I don't have anything selected,
Media player M.
which is fine. I can
Media M.
back
File
out of
manager,
here.
Radio mode.
And if I
Daisy
go into
mode.
Daisy and I hit play, it will bring up the
Open
Daisy
dialog
player
box.
and open Daisy download
Fundamentals of Web
box.
Development folder 615.
Now I
List
don't
item.
want to do that.
Daisy file not found.
Yeah,
manager,
obviously. I know that for sure. So
Radio mode.
that's one of the really cool things is those media keys are right there. And that's a really, really cool thing to have because when I'm walking and I want to do this and I have headphones in, I can just mess with the media keys and not have to mess with the complete whole keyboard. Keyboard is a Perkins style, meaning that it has the traditional 6-dot layout and a backspace and an enter key. Unlike the Braille Note line of products from HumanWare, the Braille Sense and HIMS products have scroll buttons on either side, right and left, which are programmable. These I had to get used to when I first had the device. I've probably had the device about a month or so. And this was really hard for me to get used to at first. And I didn't know if I was going to like them because, I've used to HumanWare products having the thumb keys. But I found that you keep your hands on the display more with scroll keys. And I don't have these programmed in any way. You can program different functions from the right scroll keys and the left. I have these programmed the same because if I'm reading Braille and I want to go down a line, I can either do that with the right or the left panning buttons or scroll keys, whatever you want to call them. They're called different people call them different things. So I can do that if I wanted to customize this further, but I have found that I like having both the options, so I just keep them the same. You do have 32 routing keys for the cursor. The cursor can also blink, which means the 7 and 8 dots can depress and press. I just have them right now set just to be stable and always on. You can have this disappear only when you're wanting it. You can evoke it. Haven't really played around with it as much. I'm probably going to just to find out how I want things. But it is almost like a very Windows-based environment, and it's really, really cool to see this because I am a Windows user, and I've actually wrapped my head around how stuff actually is supposed to go. Bluetooth is very stable on here. I do have it connected to my phone. It does get connected to my phone quite often. I do have a 64 gigabyte SD card in here, which does work. It holds a lot of stuff. The internals, you do have 32 gigabytes of memory on board if you don't feel like using an SD card or a thumb drive. On the back, going from left to right is your reset button, Ethernet, one USB-A, a VGA port for connecting a monitor, and then the battery that can be swapped out for a fresh one. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. On the right side of the unit, on the unit, you have the lock switch, which I demonstrated before. Away from you is unlock, and closest to you is all keys locked. Again, the middle position just locks the top keys, which is the Perkins keyboard. Then you have an AC power and a mini USB. This mini USB can be used to hook into a computer. It can also be used to charge the device as well. And on the right side of the unit, you do have a full SD card slot and 2 more USB ports. Along the front, going from left to right, again, you do have a microphone and a headphone jack, a media selector switch key, which I demonstrated before, back, play stop, record, play pause, and forward, and then a power key. So this unit is really nice. One of the cool things that I do like about it is that you can swap out the battery. On the bottom here, you do have a latch. So I'm going to lock this keyboard because I am going to touch the unit. You do have a latch that you can move. And it noticed that unplug the device from the mixer. You do have a latch that you can remove, and you can move that to the right. And that detaches the battery, I believe. I haven't really detached the battery, so it does detach the battery, and you can order new batteries. So you do not have to send the unit back if the battery goes squirrely on you, or if you find that the device isn't holding a charge. You just plug in the battery, and you're good to go. Again, this is a really cool feature of the unit, and I really like this feature. It does also have an LCD display on it for use with a sighted person. If you're in an education environment, they don't have to wonder what's on the device. So this has been Aaron Linson. I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick and little in-depth overview of the Braille Sense. We're going to get more into the unit, its functions, how to do certain things, because it does have a lot packed into it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to another edition of the LP Podcast. You can go to linsonproductions.com for all the latest blog posts and podcasts and everything that we're doing over there. Also, check out some of the awesome products and services that we have to offer. To get a hold of us, you can follow us on Twitter, Linson_Pro LLC. That's LINSON_Pro LLC. You can also email us, linsonproductionsllc@gmail.com. Again, that's linsonproductionsllc@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of us by phone, leave a comment, leave something, you can. That number is 502-536-9131. And you can also follow us on Facebook. Just search for Linson Productions in the search box on Facebook.com. We hope to see you back for another edition of the LP Podcast. We thank Audible.com for sponsoring these podcasts. And we also thank Sunu.io for sponsoring these podcasts. My name is Aaron Linson. We will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.